All right. Good morning. Good morning, guys. It is Monday, February 22nd, 2021. And this morning, we're going to talk about getting your week organized. Man, I put a post out last night about organizing your week and just got bombarded with messages about how to do it, more detail, questions, comments, etc. So we're going to dig into that this morning. Let's get started.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, guys, what's happening? Good morning to you. Man, I'm coming to you from the office here. We're a little out of sorts. I was a little late. I got some lighting issues, but that's okay, man. That's okay. We'll keep it rolling here, and we'll get things on course here throughout the week. So I just got some things accomplished yesterday here in the new office, and looking to do more of that throughout this week. So I got my desk. My new desk was shipping from Texas. So as you could imagine, that became a problem, and that thing was sitting in Mississippi for just about a week before it finally was released from Mississippi, and now it is arriving today. So I no longer have to work on a conference table. I can actually get my desk put together and get organized. So on the topic of organization, man, we're going to talk a little bit about how to get and stay organized and how to organize yourself for a super effective week. And the reason that I'm excited to talk about this topic is for years of my life, man, I spent so much time trying to figure out organization, trying to figure out how to schedule things. And man, it took me a long time to get to this point of where I feel, really effective. I feel really active, and I feel really intentional about how I spend my time. And so I wanted to share some of that with you guys on, just kind of how I organized my week and how that rolls into every single day. So want to say good morning to some folks. As always, what's happening? Cam Roberts first on the draw this morning. Jared, Dean, Rick, Carla, Randy, Mark Farelli, Dayton, John Rugg, good morning to you, man. Bruce Pulver, Michael Bonetto, Bob Kopeski, Kim, Christina. What's happening, guys? Thank you guys for being here. So this topic, Chris Filippelli, what's happening, man? This topic of organization, man, is one that we could probably talk about for the rest of time, and it'll always be evolving. It'll always be changing, and we'll always be kind of fighting this topic, right? It's just kind of how it works. We never quite master Father Time, but when we are intentional and we actually figure out a process that helps us kind of gain control and fit more into our schedules, that enables us to, at least feel like we're making some progress, create some momentum in that space. And that's what's happened for me. I've studied a lot of people that were really good at juggling a lot of things, at being extremely busy. And I figured out those little things that I saw that they were doing that was really effective. And I implemented little bits and pieces of that into my schedule. Now, with that said, I will challenge all of you to think about this from your own perspective, because what works for me may not work for you. What is a routine for me, if you did it might not be as effective, right? It might not be something that works. Maybe you've got kind of a different rhythm to things. The way that you interact with your clients, et cetera, might be a little bit different than me. So you might have to make some adjustments to this. This morning on Breakfast with Champions, I was talking about this topic, and we were discussing it as a group, and there were some people that run car dealerships in there, and they were talking about, man, just the time impact of customers having access to them immediately, right? When there's an issue or something like that, it really messes with their schedule. So, but the question that I get asked most often when I'm being interviewed is like, how do you juggle it all? How do you do it all? How do you, manage a busy schedule at work and then also have a family and spend time with your kids? And, so how do you do it? And the number one thing I will say is that it takes being organized. Like, you have to be organized and intentional about your time. And as you start to get organized, as you spend time putting your week together, you spend time writing in a planner, you spend time transferring things from your digital to your regular paper planner. What happens is you start to educate yourself on exactly how you're using your time. And so it's literally just the process teaches you about exactly what you're doing. It reveals things about your schedule and about yourself to you that otherwise you would have never known, right? So number one is that you have to be organized and you have to be intentional. So for me, utilizing a digital planner and a paper planner is the best thing. Not every single day do I write in my paper planner, which I should. Those days that I'm most effective, I definitely do. But I just want you guys that struggle with kind of getting in that routine to know that, there's lots of people out there that don't get it right every single day. And so just because you miss a day or you miss a couple of days, don't let that habit go just because of that. So, but using a planner is critical. Being able to see your week as you lay it out on Sunday is when I do it. I just talked to somebody this morning on Clubhouse that does it literally the previous Thursday or Friday. So you could do it, late in the week, the previous week, or you could do it on Sunday. For me, Sunday just kind of gets me in that mental space of, man, I'm starting the week. This is going to be great. Look at all the things that I have to do. And so I shared that on Facebook and Instagram last night. I shared a post just kind of breaking down that process for me and what's going on for me this week and just kind of how I juggle it. So being intentional about that time is really, really critically important because, for me last night, I laid out this week and I was like, man, this is an exciting week, but it's also a busy week. And so when I looked at my week, I didn't have much time left to be able to fit things in. And so what I do, I use Calendly, so Calendly, L-Y, as a way for people to book appointments on my calendar that need to have time with me, whether it be people within our company, in some cases clients, and people that I interact with and coach. Those people have access to be able to book time on my calendar whenever they need it, right? So that makes it easy where I don't have to coordinate that time with people. They can just coordinate a time that works for them. Calendly also sends out the Zoom link on my behalf. So those things are already locked in, scheduled, and ready to go. There's a million different features of Calendly that are really great for business owners. If you guys have questions about that, happy to answer those. Just shoot me a DM and I can definitely get you that information. But so what happens from that Sunday night planning session is that I get a really good look at the 5 days that are ahead of me. So this morning, I knew that I had a really busy schedule. So I got up earlier than normal. I got up around 4:15 and I was into the office here by 5 o'clock, did breakfast with champions, started to plan this show, what I was going to talk about, and just started my day, right? So I got a couple hour head start on everybody else in the world for the most part, because most people don't get up at 4 a.m. or around 4 a.m. And so I got a head start on everyone, and I'm at my desk. I'm organized. I've got everything planned out for the week, and I'm ready to hit the week head on, right? I've got everything out in front of me that I need. So what that does when you get everything out in front of you that you need, and this comes from the personal side, the business side, everything, is that you just feel more in control, right? You have a more proactive approach to how you manage your schedule. And for years of my life, I thought I was organized and I thought I was busy. And now I realized that I wasn't that organized and I really wasn't that busy, because I probably do 2 or 3 times the amount of stuff that I did back then when I thought I was busy. And now it's much more under control. It's much more intentional. And again, I'm able to fit much more into my calendar by doing that. So, but when I sit down at my desk here, I know exactly what's coming at me. I can start to research the things that are out in front of me, instead of, when you don't have things scheduled on your calendar, when people throw things in your lap, you just accept them because you don't have anything else to do, right? So you find yourself in this reactive state like all the time. And that is not really a place that you're going to be effective, that you're going to feel like you got a lot out of your days. So I think it's really important for you to put yourself in a position from an organization standpoint that you are most of the time, 80, 90% or better, in a place of offense and not defense, right? I do that also by blocking time out throughout the day. So I have time to think. I have time to follow up on things. I have time to put out the fires that might start throughout the day without really jamming up my schedule too much, really changing my schedule too significantly. So I put some hour time blocks in my schedule throughout the week that allow me to kind of catch up on things and do the things that I need to do. But with that said, every area of your life has to be scheduled, and you have to be where your feet are. One of the things that I most admire about my wife is that when I am at work, I am pretty much at work unless there's something significant going on in our family. I don't get a lot of distractions from home while I'm at work. And so that helps me be able to get home sooner. It helps me be more effective at work, and it helps me be more effective when I get home because I can accomplish more at work. I don't have to take all of that stuff home with me. So make sure that you're scheduling everything down to, if you're going to have one-on-one time with your children, when is that going to be? If you have a date night scheduled with your wife, it has to be on the calendar so that you can make sure that your work day is not crazy at the end so that you're rushing to get home and that date night is not as meaningful as it would be if you had kind of a clear head and everything wasn't hectic. So just think about that from the perspective of how you are approaching your weeks, what you're able to get done in a week, and how much more you could get done if you were actually intentional and proactive about the amount of time that you're spending on each task. One of the goals that I have every single day, the right side of my planner is the to-do list and the time slots, right? And it is to leave the least amount of white space on that sheet as I possibly can. So I've got, critical tasks at the top that I have to get done that day. That's how I consider my day of victory. And then at the bottom, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and I want to fill that in as much as possible. And I find that when I fill that in, if I'm able to fill that in for a week straight, man, it is an incredibly productive week. It's a time when I get a lot done. I feel great about myself going into the weekend. I feel great about what I accomplished. And I don't have to necessarily work all weekend to kind of stay caught up. I always work on the weekends, but I don't feel that pull that I didn't get enough done during the week, that I have to work on the weekends. And so I spend time usually Saturday mornings and Sunday evenings doing some things. And I'm generally, catching up with people on my phone or whatnot throughout the day. But for the most part, at this point in my life, I have weekends pretty well dedicated to my family. And so that's kind of my, in a nutshell, description of how to plan yourself out for a week is just spend some time doing that, whether it's Friday or Sunday, whatever works best for you. You have to be able to get that week in a glance out in front of you, and you have to be able to block time for the right things in the right places. When you first start doing this, by the way, you're probably going to recognize that you're actually not that busy. That's what happened for me when I started, using a planner. It's like, man, I'm not that busy. How could I get more busy? How could I be more effective? And so I started using Calendly. I started connecting with more people, and I started just trying to stay more active every single day with tasks that would lead to the things that I'm trying to accomplish. And so if you can spend most of your time every day doing tasks and activities that lead you in the direction of your dreams, you're going to see those things come into focus a lot faster than you could imagine. So that's it for this morning, guys. Wishing you an amazing week, an amazing Monday. I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you guys need a planner to use, I have one that I can share with you. It's just a PDF version. You can print it out and put it in a 3-ring binder, or you can take it to FedEx or someplace like that and get it printed and bound. But I'm happy to share that. Just shoot me a DM on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll share that PDF with you. And hopefully it'll help you guys get a little bit more organized and intentional about your time. So appreciate you guys being here. Have an amazing week. I'll see you tomorrow morning, same place, same time on Morning Perspective. Love you guys. Thanks for being here.